So after a long weekend off, I'm finally out here with Jigsaw, giving him some attention that he so desperately wanted, and now I think he's changed his mind. But I have the bareback pad and things out here in the arena to let him kind of check it out and sniff things around and get comfortable with them so he can start carrying this around later on. And the girls are over there on the other side of the fence line being real big pains in my rear end, especially Georgia. And, but he's doing really good, and he's trying his best to not pay them any attention. And we're just going to play with this saddle pad and just let him get comfortable with it.
That's right. You
and
can
then
play
maybe
with it.
Later this week, he might start wearing it.
Play with it.
So we'll
Tear it
just
up,
see how that
Georgia.
goes. But I'm
Georgia
just letting
tears
him
it up
play
every
around
day.
with it. Like, he can grab it, he can stomp on it, he can do
not
whatever he wants to with it. That's what I've done with Cammie, and that's what I've done with Georgia too. But he's really funny here, so it scared the bejesus out of him. When I went and dropped it on the ground, I don't know what he thought I was going to do, but they say stallions are supposed to be really brave, but I'm not so sure about that. But he circled around back to it. He did. He went and touched it, which was really good. So we just did a lot of this, a lot of approach and retreat type of things with the saddle pad. So I'm walking around and getting his attention back on me and where it needs to be. And he didn't do too awful bad with it. Of course, now he's just going to pretend that he's ignoring it, and he's going to, smell some poop and pretend like that's way more important than that saddle pad there. So anytime he looks over at the girls, I just gently bring his attention back to me. I don't yell at him or snatch on him or anything like that. I just close my fingers around the lead rope and bring him back to me. If he still chose to ignore me, what I would do is I would turn around and walk off in the opposite direction and expect him to come with me. Now right here, I'm letting him look off into the distance because there's a cat over there, and so he's not paying the horses any attention, but he's looking at the cat in the bushes. And so I don't want to nitpick him so much that he feels like he can't do anything at all, but as long as he is standing and looking at other things that are not as distracting as females, that's okay, as long as he brings his attention, back to me after, a second or so. And there, he's getting more into it. He's starting to figure it out a little bit more. He still likes to go and distract himself by smelling somebody else's poop. But here I just go and I just bring it forward, and when he comes in towards it to smell it, then I retreat it away. So what I would like for him to do is almost like he's chasing it, like he's going to go after it, and he's not so sure about it quite yet. So I'm going to put it back on the ground. He wasn't quite ready for me to pick it up. Yeah, and remember, he's just a yearling. So we're taking our time with this, because what I want Jigsaw to be is really confident in me that I am not going to do anything to him that is going to hurt him. And he's getting better and better at trusting me, so the last thing I want to do is take him and do something to him that is going to cause him to distrust me. So I'm not going to take and throw that pad up on him or anything like that until I'm sure that he's ready for it. And And so we just spent a lot of time of letting him just approach and retreat and approach and retreat. So there he looks at the horses, and I give a little closed hand in on that lead rope to bring him back. So now I think he's ready for me to hold it and hold it out for him to touch. And he touched, and so then I take it away. And then we just do this several times where he'll come towards it, and then I just take it away until he got really comfortable and almost to the point of being bored with it. I try to be very mindful to stop the game before we're bored, because I don't want him to be agitated or annoyed, with doing something and feel like he's just being nitpicked on, the whole time. Like, I want everything that we do to be an enjoyable time for these horses and for them to stay stimulated. And then that time when I threw it down on the ground, he was totally fine with that and didn't bother him at all.
Damn mares are like the worst, especially Georgia's. They were there like trying to bang around on the fence to try to get our attention.
There was a lot of distractions there with Georgia. She is so jealous, and I had to stop and go over and run her off from the fence because she's literally just taking her foot and dragging it down the fence, making as much noise as she possibly could so that we would pay her some attention. So she is definitely going on the patience pole the next time that I bring him out here, because she is just a big pain in the butt, and I'm probably going to have to rearrange that fencing on that end too next time I bring any horses out into this arena. Because she sure has just been one pain in the butt all morning this morning about it.
Georgia!
She is just so nosy, and she wants to be into everything that you're doing. She wants to be involved in it. Yeah. So it scared him again. Big brave boy. Goes. He touched, and then I retreated, and then I got a step forward. So that was the first time he took a step forward towards it. So I was really happy with that. He came forward, and then I retreated away. He came forward, and I retreated away. So I was very happy with that. And so then I just put it up, and then I just set it back up onto the tire so he could smell it again. I'm also stopping him from going and weaving around, because what he wants to do is try to get around and like hide behind me, and I don't want him to do that. So I blocked him from going in that direction. And then the actual saddle pad itself is laying there on the ground. So he took a good sniff at that, and we called that a day, at least on that part. And so what I'm going to do is, I thought I was leaving, but he decided to play with it a little bit more. And so as long as he wants to play with the saddle pad and nose around on it and be super curious about it, I'm going to let him, because I want this horse to be as curious as possible and feel confident in his curiosity. So I don't want to stop him from doing these things at this stage of his development. If he wants to play with this, and he wants to smell it, and he wants to drag it, and he wants to bite on it and stomp on it, I'm going to let him do that, within reason, of course. He spooked himself a little because he grabbed the girth on it and it jingled around. But I was really glad he didn't actually move that time. So it was just a slight startle versus trying to bolt away. Like, I felt I'm going to have to develop a much stronger seat in the future on this one, because he definitely likes to go backwards and bolt away. which again, I am thankful for that over him being a very forward, run over the top of me kind of horse. So far, he has not attempted to do anything like that, which I'm happy about, because most stallions do tend to be a little bit more on the pushy forward, fore-end type of behavior. And he's a little bit more of a back away and leave when something startles him. So we gotta figure out how to balance that out a little bit. But I'd much rather him do that than run over the top of me. And so now after we finished that, we moved on to where I'm going to teach him to tie up to the horse trailer. So the last few weeks, I've taught him to tie to the tie post that is in his paddock, and then also the tie post that is right outside of his paddock. But we haven't moved around a whole lot all over the farm. And so this is the very first time that he's been up close to my horse trailer. And this is on the other side of the farm, and it's closer more over to the donkey pens, or to the female donkey pens. And so he's a lot more nervous now with his tying. So I don't actually have him tied up. I just have the lead rope looped through the hole at the side, and I'm holding on to one end so that I can put a little bit of pressure on it if I feel like he is comfortable with that. But if he's not, I'm going to let it loosen up and come through. I do not teach my horses to hard tie until I know that they are comfortable with tying in this manner. There's just been too many accidents and too many horses killed or their necks damaged due to hard tying before they're ready for that. And that is just something that I'm just not going to do. So I'll follow the same rules and the same pattern that I've done since day one, even though we're in a different place. So every time he moves out of position, I just ask him to come back up and get back into the same position. So I don't punish him or fuss at him for moving backwards and getting out of that position. I just put him right back in it, just with no emotion, not being upset about it. I don't yell at him or fuss at him or anything like that. If he just moves out of the position that I want him in, I just ask him to go right back into it. And then I just groom him while he is doing that. And he finally started settling pretty good, and he finally started eating some hay out of the hay bag that I have tied up here. I always try to keep a hay bag near them, gives them something to do, keeps them slightly distracted from anything else that may startle them. Here in a few minutes, I drop the line so that it can hang, and that startled him a little bit. He only took a step or so back, and that wasn't too bad. So again, I just ask him to just come back up, like you don't get excited about it. And then I just continue on doing the same thing. And if I have to do this 100 times, then I have to do this 100 times. Eventually, over time, this won't be any problems. This is how I trained my other horses, and I've had great success with that. And so far, nobody's been hurt, and I've had no property damage, and no injuries to any of my animals. So, and that's how I'm going to continue working with him. And then when he's ready and he can handle it, then we'll add the hard tying in. So I just gave him a good grooming on both sides and just kept repeating my pattern back and forth. Anytime he tried to pull and step away, I just put him right back into his beginning position over and over again, until we were done. And that's how we ended our session today. And I think he did really well. He hadn't been handled in a couple of days, and it was a good first time back. And then once we were done, I took him back into his paddock and I dewormed him. And that was pretty cute to watch his face after he got that, because he thought he was getting a treat, but it was not. So anyway, I hope y'all really enjoyed this video and following along with Jigsaw's journey. And we will see y'all next time. And so y'all make sure you like and follow and share.